everybody, welcome to A Stylish Life. My name is Shakayla Diamond. I want to start off by saying happy Black History Month. Today is February 1st, so this is the first day of the month. So once again, happy Black History Month. Although we do get this month specifically for Black history, we celebrate us the whole year, so never forget that we celebrate us the whole year. February is just the month that we turn it up a little bit. So this month I want to be bringing some amazing content to my channel that is specifically Black people in fashion focused, although most of my channel is Black people in fashion focused for the most part. But this month, that's all that it's about. Black people in the history of fashion, Black people currently in fashion, Black people who paved the way for Black people in fashion, and all things that deal with that type of stuff. Although it is going to be fashion focused, I might throw some additional knowledge in there that's not necessarily fashion. But yeah, so I hope you guys are excited, because so am I. And let's just get right into the video. So in this video, I'm going to be giving you two very important women in fashion who paved the way for Black people in fashion. They're both fashion designers, and they are both people who did some amazing and monumental things in fashion, and they are monumental in Black history, and they were very often forgotten about. You may not know who they are because it's not a lot of facts that are given about them, especially not when you are watching, like, you know, documentaries or things like that about fashion. They're not even mentioned. So yeah, if this is your first time hearing about them, I'm glad that you're watching this video. So let's get started with the first one. Her name is Zelda Wynn Valdez. She was a fashion designer and costumer, and she started in the 1920s. She created the original Playboy bunny costume. Now this fact I actually didn't know until probably like 6 months to a year ago. I never really thought about who created the Playboy costume, but I just know that they didn't put it out to the public that it was her, that it was a Black woman who created this costume. And she created it. She was the first to do it. They did not give her credit, but she was the person who created the Playboy bunny costume. The costume was presented at the opening of the first Playboy Club, which was here in Chicago in the 1960s. And it's also the first commercial uniform to be registered by the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office. She also started her own dressmaking business in White Plains, New York in 1935. And then after that, she wanted to open her own dressmaking studio in 1948. Next, she said that her shop was the first Black-owned business on Broadway. Like I said, a lot of these facts aren't told, especially because they're about Black people. So I'm glad that certain things were told by her so that we know this certain information. She said that her dresses were sold to people like Dorothy Dandridge, Jessie Norman, and Gladys Knight. So she did dress some very high elite high society people and celebrities. She also dressed the entire bridal party for the 1948 wedding of Mary Ellington and Nat King Cole, and many other celebrities like Josephine Baker, Mae West, Ella Fitzgerald, Eartha Kitt, and a whole lot of other people. So like I said, she is very important. She dressed a lot of celebrities, a lot of people in elitist society, but she was not given the credit of being the designer for those dresses or gowns or anything that she created for them. She also directed the fashion and design workshop of the Harlem Youth Opportunity. This name is very long, so it's called the Fashion and Design Workshop of the Harlem Youth Opportunities Unlimited and Associated Community Terms. Very long name. But she did a lot of work with like youth and teaching them design and giving them workshops on how to create and things like that. So she gave a lot back to the community and a lot back to young people, and I'm pretty sure that's because these skills weren't being taught to us. Like these types of jobs or these type of career paths weren't really shown that they're things that we can do. So I'm glad that she reached back to the community to show younger people like this is possible for you. Because I even know for myself, as a person in the a Black person in the fashion industry, a lot of these jobs that are available in the fashion industry are not marketed towards us. They're not told that it's possible for it to happen for us. In a lot of our schools, fashion isn't even talked about, let alone talked about to us. And then also for a lot of fashion positions, it's harder for us to find out about them or for us to get into them because we are Black people. It's getting a little bit better now, but there are still some very elitist gatekeepers for the elitist societies of fashion and the fashion industry, and it is very hard for us to get into higher positions or higher luxury fashion houses because of those gatekeepers, and they want to keep us out and keep them in. And a lot of the all of the fashion that's in the fashion industry comes from us. You have the designers, they start their collection 6 months before the release, before the season starts. But before they start that collection, they get that from us, and then they start designing. So just to throw that out there. And she also was one of the founders of the National Association of Fashion Accessory Designers. And it was an industry group that intended to promote Black designer professionals, establishing with the sponsorship of National Council of Negro Women. So like I said, she was a pillar in the community of reaching back to show youth and Black women that you can be a part of the fashion industry. You can be a fashion designer. You can do these things and you can learn how to do them. Like this is something that's open for you. Yes, it's going to be harder than it will be for somebody else, but this is something that you can do that is attainable. She also designed costumes for the Dance Theater of Harlem in the 1970s, which was created by Arthur Mitchell. So as you heard me say, she, based off of all these facts that I just read to you, she is someone very important in the fashion industry. Someone who created a costume for one of the largest brands in the world, which is Playboy. And she was not given that credit. A lot of the time, these designers weren't given credit. A lot of the things that they designed that were very popular, it wasn't known that they were designed by them because it was either put under different names, or it just wasn't said that this is by a Black person or this is by so-and-so. Like a lot of these designers weren't making money. Like they were dressing the people who had the most money or who were, you know, the top elites in specific groups, but they weren't making money like they should have been. Their prices were talked down, which is something that's still happening right now with a lot of Black businesses. I won't even categorize it to just fashion right now, but a lot of Black businesses, our prices are talked down. You can have a Black business that has the same product, that charges the same amount as a white company or a big box company, but somebody is going to ask, you know, more questions to the Black owned business. They're going to ask them, why is your price too much? Your price is too high. Or, you know, who did you get to make this? Or they're going to try to dig deeper into why you're doing something or why you're charging the price that you're charging. But for that big box company or that white run company, they're not asking them any questions. They're going to just purchase the item because they like it. Just like, you know, if you compare a small Black owned fashion brand to like a Chanel or a Gucci or something like that, that Black business could have amazing quality products, which they usually do. It's great quality, okay? Great quality. They can have a great quality product that is durable, that's going to last you a long time, that is beautiful, well made, all of that. And it could be $700, but then they could look at a Gucci bag and it's $700 too, but that person might choose to get that $700 Gucci bag because they're like, why are you charging $700? What gives you the rights to do that? But that Black owned bag might be a better quality than that $700 Gucci bag. Like, it's a whole like mental thing that a lot of people do when it comes to buying from Black businesses. It's always, you know, why this, why that, rather than just purchasing it and it actually being able to be a good product. A lot of people feel like it's like impossible for a Black owned product to be good quality. Like, that doesn't even make sense. But yeah, yeah, it's insane. Like the fact that that still happens right now, that people talk down, you know, talk down a person's price or talk down their ethic of work just because they are a black person. It's insane. But yeah, she was a pillar in the black community for fashion. She was not given the credit that she deserved. She was not given her flowers while she was still here. And yes, she is the person who designed the original Playboy costume. And like I said, Playboy is one of the biggest brands in the world, and for the information to not be known is crazy. And once again, her name is Zelda Wynn Valdez. So if you want to research her a little bit more and get more information than I gave you, then her name is Zelda Wynn Valdez. So next is Ann Lowe. She was the first African American to become a noted fashion designer. Now, before I started doing my own research, I had never heard of her. Like I said, in all of the fashion documentaries and things about the history of fashion, you don't hear anything about black people at all. Like, I know from my experience and from being a person who has studied fashion for a very long time, been interested in it since I was a little girl, I've never heard anything about black people in the history of fashion. Not, you know, more currently, but the actual history of fashion, when they start to talk about the Yves Saint Laurent or Dior, things like that, or Chanel, things like that. They never speak of black people. But it says that she was the first African American to become a noted fashion designer, which is amazing. And I'm glad that, although I didn't learn this information, you know, long ago like I should have, I'm glad that I'm finding it out now rather than never knowing. But also, she attended the S.T. Taylor Design School in New York, and she had to attend classes by herself. So she had to go to, because of segregation, she had to go to class and be the only one in the class and get taught separately than her other classmates, which is insane. She says that she endured a lot of bad treatment, as you can imagine, during segregation, what a black person would experience. But as a lot of people say, to keep in your head, you know the end goal. No matter how hard it is, you know what the end goal is. She knew what her end goal is, and she didn't give up. She continued going until she got her degree. And she did receive her degree from that same school, although it was very hard. She attained her degree, and after she graduated college, she moved to Tampa, because I'm pretty sure it was like since her experience was so hard in college, she moved to somewhere else that she felt like she could actually thrive in. Because when you're good at what you do, you know your technique, you know your skill set, you don't want to stay somewhere where your skill set is always going to be, you know, tear down, or, you know, people aren't going to feel like you're credible to do something. So she moved to Tampa and opened her first dressing line. So she opened up and owned her own dressing line, and then after that became very successful. And I think she said she saved up $20,000, and she moved back to New York in 1928. She was a favorite among high society women from the 1920s to the 1960s, just like I said about Zelda Wynn Valdez. They were both known in high society. They were two of the main designers that would dress the women in high society, but they were not given the credit for it. She also designed Jackie Kennedy's wedding dress back in 1953, but she did not get the credit for it. And she wasn't publicly given credit for the dress, although the wedding was highly publicized. So I'm pretty sure people asked, you know, who designed the dress, and they probably gave a different name, or probably didn't disclose the information. But she is Ann Lowe is the person who created Jackie Kennedy's wedding dress, and she was also hired by Jackie Kennedy's mother because her reputation of making amazing designs and amazing garments was so great within their high society that she hired her. But yet you still didn't give someone the credit. Like, you know that this person is good at what they do, that they can get the job done, and clearly she got the job done, but she still doesn't get the credit for it. It's insane. But next, she also designed the dress for Olivia, I'm gonna try not to mess this name up, Olivia de javelina that she wore to accept the Academy Award for Best Actress, but the dress was credited to someone else under the name of Sonia Rosenberg. And it's, once again, it just goes to show, you know, that this person is amazing for what they do. They did an amazing job at what they did for you, but you credited the dress to someone else, all probably because you didn't want it to be shown that it was designed by a black person. It's insane. She also created her designs from the finest fabrics, and was later called society's best kept secret. So they kept her a secret, just like Zelda, because she was black. Although she knew what she was doing and she did an amazing job at what she did, they kept her a secret, but they wanted to use her. They also talked her down on her prices by hundreds of dollars, so she barely made money. So once she paid her staff, she barely made any profit, and at the height of her career, she was broke because they didn't want to pay her what she deserved. They didn't want to pay her what her quality of work was deserved, just like I said, with the $700 black owned bag and the $700 Gucci bag. And the $700 black owned bag is probably better than that Gucci bag, but you're gonna say, oh, you charging too much, why are you charging this, what is it made out of, blah blah blah, but you won't question that Gucci bag. And it's just insane. She also created designs for very famous and rich families like the Rockefellers and the DuPonts. So she was very well known. She was great at what she did, just like Zelda was, but she just wasn't given that credit or that payment for it at that. It's crazy. But they, like I said, they both made designs for women in high society, and they were custom designs. They were made out of great fabric. They were very well put together, very great quality, but they weren't given the credit for it. And like I said, at the height of her career, she was broke. Like, that just shows you black people have to work 14 times harder than a white person just to get to where they need to be. Although your skill set might be better, your quality of work might be better, you might know more, you might be more talented, but you have to work so much harder and accomplish so much more before you even get that little bit of recognition. But I hope that you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope that you guys are able to go look them up if you want to know more information. Once again, their names are Zelda Wynn Valdez and Ann Lowe. Zelda Wynn Valdez created the original Playboy costumes, and Ann Lowe was one of the first African-American people to be known as a notable designer. But I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Once again, happy Black History Month, and there will be some amazing content coming this month. Make sure that you turn on your post notifications, that you subscribe to this channel, and that you give this video a thumbs up, and I will see you in the next video. Peace out.